What is up, everyone? Limitless here. Peace, love, and light to you all. I hope I'm finding you all in good grace. You know, as we all know, this is that show we all need to be listening to understand where the world is going, what's gonna happen, and we just all need to prepare. It's that limitless talk. The very first thing I want to point out is that images are very, very powerful. When you put something in people's face, when people can see, whatever you're trying to show them, they believe it very, very quickly. That's why it's important that we guard our mental state, our mind. We guard it at all costs because whatever we're taking in, it's important that we know it's going to affect us. The Economist posted this 6th of January. It is usually a bad sign if talks start with one side brandishing a gun, but Russia's aggression towards Ukraine has given the West an opportunity to enhance European security. And look at the picture they got right there. You see The Economist and the Time magazine, the way they use image. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, you know. Even sometimes I'm like, damn, these guys are good. You know, they can make you hate someone like that, very quickly. I mean, look at this image they got here of Putin. Mr. Putin will see you now. I mean, it looks like a badass, doesn't it? Damn. You're sitting in that chair, got that AK 47, it looks like that, that Russian Kalashnikov or Kanashnikov, however they pronounce it. It's this right here is just another sign of what's to come. We understand the tension between the East and the West. Make no mistake, this is all between the East and the West. And the East is rising. Russia doesn't even consider uh, itself to be part of the European country. It doesn't. Russia leans more towards Asia. You understand what I'm saying? And Russia being a communist country and China being a communist country as well, their agenda matches very, very closely. And when you look at Putin and you look at the Chinese, you can tell they're related somehow. And when I say related, I'm not saying those two directly, but I'm saying the Russian people and the Chinese people, you can tell they share common ancestors. You understand what I'm saying? But anyways, without further ado, let's hit the intro and we're gonna break down everything we got today. Welcome back, everyone. This is Limitless Talk. This is that show. Remember, please, please, please share with your friends, family, loved ones, your haters. You know, share with everyone because even they gonna need it. Yes, your very haters. They need to hear this. You understand what I'm saying? Let's get right into this. I've got here membership group launches to support implementation of CBDC. So this is a foundation that was created, the Digital Pound Foundation, a new membership body supporting the rollout of the UK CBDC Central, the rest, launches in London, whenever they posted that. Led by former Barclays corporate vice chairman, Jeremy Wilson. We know Barclays is a big, big major financial player within the United Kingdom's economy and the world's economy. When you look into Barclays got so many subsidiaries. They've literally got their hands in everything you can think of. Their dirty little stinking hands. And you know what the banksters are? The biggest drug dealers, gun running, gun dealing, thieving son of a guns. You know that already. And here you see the people that they partnered with to create the foundation. And you see here you got Accenture, Avalanche, Billon Group, CGI Group, Electronium, Quant, and Ripple. When you start reading and looking into a lot of these things, you'll see the same names over and over again. It's nothing new, nothing new at all. So I've gone on their website, and this is some of the stuff they've worked on. You'll see some of their papers. Jump in there, have a read. It's some of the stuff in there is quite interesting, but the one that caught my eye is this one right here. House of Lords Economic Affairs Committee call for evidence. Central bank digital currency. I didn't even know it's gone that far. I just thought it's just the Bank of England, currently doing research and just doing their own thing. Because as we know, the Bank of England, they've got exclusivity on the monetary policy. However, we still got to understand that before they can even, make a big change as to this sort of medium of exchange within the economy, it's still got to go through the parliament, because that's just what it is. The parliament is the public. The public is us. The public have to agree to it. If the public doesn't agree to it, then it doesn't go ahead. So, on here, you'll see this is the UK Parliament website, committees, written evidences, and there's this, all the evidences here. You see all the different uh, top level executives that they've brought on to basically testify to the benefit of blockchain. Of course, the pros and cons, how it's going to benefit the economy and so on and so forth. You see them all right there. John Hawkins, uh, Stephen Bonner, Barclays Bank, Crypto UK. The one I'm more interested in is the evidence from Ripple. Let me see if I've opened it. Yes, I have. Central Bank Digital Currency Inquiry. Again, as we've mentioned, we know what the agenda is. We know what they're doing. It's nothing new, you know. And again, as we've understood, the central bank digital currency, it's a way to basically gain more control over the people. That's why we need to be more involved in this uh, government process of introducing new legislations and so on and so forth. And we can be involved, because if you go back on this Parliament website here, you can basically contact your MPs. You understand what I'm saying? Where is the MP Lords and offices? Right here, members of the House of Lords. It's right there in your face. You can search for members of the House of Lords, whoever they are. You can find your MP here. You understand what I'm saying? Um, if you click on this, you'll see basically you can go through, try to find your local constituent MP, and you can talk to them directly and give your opinion basically. And they have to take it on board because you are part of the public. You understand what I'm saying? But moving back to this, CBDC offers benefit that fiat currency does not. We believe there is a place for reliance on both physical and digital currency. No, there's no place for both physical and digital currency. There's only space for digital currencies. But you see, they put that there for now because they'll run it side by side until they'll completely phase out the physical, currency. That's no brainer. And use of one need not preclude the other. That said, digital forms of payment offer unique benefit that fiat currency does not, specifically unlike cash. A CBDC could enable micropayments or otherwise be programmed. Again, we've had a look at this for specific uses to support government aims or macroeconomic policy, such as delivering targeted financial stimulus support to individuals and businesses. CBDCs used for this purpose could be time bound. You see that? They'll put in your account. You've got this, you've got this long to spend it, or poof, it's gonna disappear. It's gonna go. Made region specific. Again, they'll tell you where you can spend it. If your CBDC is programmed for the West Midlands, you can't go to East Midlands and try to spend it there. It won't work. You understand what I'm saying? Or linked to specific industries. These things are very crucial, that we are understanding what these things are and what it could potentially be for us. You understand what I'm saying? Linked to specific industry, again, they'll tell you, yes, you can go gamble, you can go do this, you can go do that, but you can't buy real estate. You can't save it to say you want to, make some investment purchase. No. Again, it will be programmed that you can't do that. In order to stimulate consumer demand and support key industries and policy outcomes like the green economy and decarbonization. We've heard this rhetoric several times. We know what the agenda is already. They're using all of these buzzwords, just to give an excuse as to why they're doing what they're doing. But again, you just have to observe around you, and you'll see that ain't nothing wrong. The only thing wrong is the way we're doing things, the way the economy is run. And even though they keep talking about all this green economy and decarbonization, you look at electric cars they're trying to bring in, you look into what it takes to create an electric battery, and you realize they still have to dig the ground to get the cobalt, to get the natural resources to make these products. So to me, it's almost like, what's going on here? One side you're saying you want to go green, you want to decarbonize, the planet, you want to do this, but then again, you're going around still digging the ground for all sorts of things you need within the economy. So it makes no sense. It makes no sense. So go on the Digital Pound Foundation site and have a quick read. It's interesting, as always. It's always interesting. Moving on. As we can see, we know there's a lot of rhetoric coming out in regards to, the pandemic and the different uh, issues that are rising from the measures that have been taken to curb, infection rate and stuff like that. And one of the problem here, energy crisis. Again, all of these things they know. When you understand economics, you know that labor equals productivity. If there's no labor, there's no productivity. Now, people that are testing positive and all sorts, you're forcing them to isolate this, that, telling employers to take this measure, take that. Of course, this is what's going to lead to. It's going to lead to production reduction, and in turn, we're going to head into a serious economic crisis. It's no brainer. You understand? Martin Lewis issues warning as seismic hit looms for millions. The money saving expert found the one that 2022 is going to be a very tough year for many people, and substantial intervention from the government is needed to avoid catastrophe amid soaring energy costs. It said, we are going to see a minimum 50% increase in energy prices in the system that is unsustainable for many. We need to look at what we can do now and how we can protect those people who will need to choose between heating and eating. There are already some who are having to make that choice. It's uh it's crazy, you know. And there's there's even further information down here that says ministers will not act until it is too late. One's industry expert. Again, it's by design. They they are not in this business that they're in right now to to revive this economy. This economy is done. You look right here. Um, Bloomberg posted a gauge of U.S. firms extending credit climbs to the highest level in almost 18 years, signaling a strong bet on the economy's prospect and heavy investment in automation. We know that's where we're going. Everything is gonna be automated. It don't matter what your job is. You could be a litter picker. There's gonna be a damn robot roaming the street to pick the litter. It does not matter. You understand what I'm saying? So we need to pay attention and just make sure that we know what's going on. Let's look more into this whole pandemic situation because I really want to touch on this one because they're using this damn pandemic to wreak a lot of havoc. You know, a lot of the money printing they're doing, this is to basically collapse the economy. You can't print money and not expect things to tumble. Of course, it's going to affect the prices of things. It's called inflation. It's called raising interest rate because there's so much damn fiat note just roaming about. There's loads of free money out here. Those who understand how to get it, it's in crypto. All the money they're printing, it's all going in crypto. You do a simple search on like latest news on coronavirus, and you'll see pretty much there's a lot of heat going on right now over that issue. Every country rising cases. Oh, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. You go through all the news. Scottish newspaper question on COVID internment camps spark uproar. Respondent black Scottish newspaper after it asked whether Scotland should follow Australia's lead and introduce COVID internment camps. So if you're not vaccinated or you test positive for COVID and all that and you need to isolate, you go into a camp and it's coming. But remember guys, anything you don't consent to they can't do. I'm gonna we'll go into more details into a lot of these things in the future because there are certain foundations we have to lay down so we can understand exactly what the government can and cannot do. The government, when you hear them talking, you hear them talk a lot about public, 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 public. And when it comes to the pandemic, you hear them say, "Oh, compelling case for public health, public health, public health." All the legislation they're passing, everything they're doing, is well within the delegated authority they've been given to regulate commerce. So, and when you look around you, everything is commercial. You go into work, the bus, flight, plane, train. That's why it's called commercial flight, commercial train, commercial bus, commercial bank. Everything's commercial. It's all business in nature. You understand? So, for that, they can pass all sorts of legislation, print all sorts of money, to basically um, uh, say they uh, they're doing something to mitigate the issue. We need to pay attention to that. Coast officials on high alert over influx of fake, the C word certificate. Of course, you can expect that. Not a lot of people is willing to get this booyah, man. Like me, for one, I'm definitely not taking no booyah. Definitely not. It's not gonna happen because, again, you look out there, there are a lot of issues arising from these things. I mean, look at this woman right here. I mean, and in Africa, we know like the needles are bigger in Africa, man. I don't know why Africa use such a big needle, man. But of course, we can expect this because people want to travel, people want to do their thing without being restricted. But what we need to realize is the government can't do anything we don't consent to. So again, if you don't consent, it don't apply to you. It's just that simple. COVID. New £300 payment for those in isolation on Isle of Man. Again, this is that old idea of making you sit at home, making you get used to not working and having some sort of little income. This is the beginning. The foundation is already laid. They're building on top of it right now. And whoever falls for it, good luck to you. But for us, we know we're not falling for none of their bull crap. A new £300 payment for those unable to work while isolating should help a broader range of people on the island, the Treasury Minister has said. Again, universal basic income. We know what the agenda is. This is as much as they can program money, they're also ensuring that they're programming the people to fall in line with the agenda, to fall in line with the propaganda. All of this that I'm showing so far, these are all propaganda, predictive programming. They're letting you know it's coming. If it's already happening in some part of the world, it's only a matter of time before it gets to you. Thanks to COVID, China's new currency is the potato. This article went into, people over in China now, they would rather, exchange with tangible stuff like food, stuff, and all that rice. You understand what I'm saying? Rice, potato. Guys, things are already bad. 2022 is going to reveal a lot to us. It's going to reveal a lot. And even myself, that understand a lot of these things, I still can't wrap my head around it sometimes. Like, how did we allow it to get to this point? It's insane, One can't be complacent as COVID-19 situation will worsen in next 2 weeks, health expert says. So and this is in India as well. And again, when you go, just do a quick search, just see the rhetoric coming out of all the different nations all across the globe, and it's the same script, no different, same script. They're all just following the same agenda, and there's nothing different. Here, The Guardian, COVID live, no need for fourth jab yet. Again, yet meaning we're not ruling it out, because you see, this booyah, part of the agenda for this booyah is to murk off a lot of people, and they will do it. They will get it done. They will get it done. A lot of people will be gone. They don't need humans anymore. They don't need, people's labor anymore. They've got robots, algorithms, drones, artificial intelligence, in general. They've got it, and they're gonna use it. It's just that simple. Now, with all this COVID stuff, they keep printing and bailing out all sorts of corporation. You get a little trickle to the people, but it mainly goes to the corporations. And what are the corporations doing? While the corporations are busy selling bonds to the Bank of England, and this is not just in the UK, it's happening all around the world. The Bank of England is busy buying corporate bonds. I think right now they are 20 billion bond, and bond is nothing but an evidence of a debt. These corporations are basically saying, "Oh, here, this, you know, this is to say that we owe you this much, and we'll settle this in the future." That's all a bond is. A bond is an evidence of a debt. It's a form of, IOU, just like the fiat currency is. It's just that a bond is more of a private instrument. Anyone can use a bond. A fiat currency is more of a public instrument. So, we got to understand the difference between these terminologies and stuff like that. Cost of government's coronavirus bailout is now set to top 130 billion as the economy plunges into recession, says Watchdog. This is in June 2020. What do you guys think it is right now? I haven't even looked into it, but it's only going to keep going up because we know they've already started talking about another round of stimulus. Now, this is the last round of stimulus we're all getting. I mean, I didn't get nothing, but, because I've been working throughout this whole mess. So, we need to understand that they're trying to bankrupt the economy, make everything go to crap, and then they're going to come back to basically double down on everything. They're going to buy everything at the low. Remember, World Economic Forum said, you own nothing, but you will be happy. And they're doing it right in front of your face right now. It's happening. You understand what I'm saying? Principles of the bailout. Deploy the familiar tools first, of course. The Treasury and relevant agencies have a finite capacity to innovate and implement new schemes. Now, scheme, you look up what scheme mean. You hit Etim online real quick. Now I'm checking this on my phone, just to quickly read it. Scheme, figure of speech from medieval Latin. Schema, shape, figure, form, appearance, figure of speech. Posture in dancing from Greek schema. But the main thing is the sense, program of action. First is attested 1640s unfavorable overtones. You understand what I'm saying? To devise a scheme. It's an elaborate systematic plan. It's basically, to take something. It's like, you guys understand what I'm trying to say? Scheme, like when someone is scheming, when you use that word, like, yo, you're scheming, man. That's exactly what they're doing. Treasury recognized this. In the initial phases, the policy set needs to be broad and aimed where the greatest number of companies and jobs can be reached quickly. They only care about the companies. The Treasury recognized this and put to use existing broad channels as far as possible. Tax forgiveness, £12 billion of easily administered grants to the smallest companies, and making use of existing banks and schemes currently in operation to direct loans. But the main important thing here is this: Bank of England buying eligible commercial paper, i.e. unsecured short-term debt instrument from larger solvent companies suffering cash flow disruption. They're not suffering cash flow. They're keeping their cash, right? And saying they ain't got no money. So when everything go down, they can double down on everything. They're going to buy everything. And remember, the Bank of England is already not just the Bank of all the central banks around the world. I think so far, all the central banks around the world have purchased over can't even remember, but it's in the trillions. They're doing something as ridiculous as 230 billion purchases a day since 2019. I mean, it's insane what they're doing. It's criminal, essentially, what they're doing. Because they're scheming on people. They're lying just to thief. And we need to understand what's going on. Cardiff Airport dead without bailout, boss say. You see, they come for the public money, but they offer no public benefit. Using their service is considered a privilege. There's a difference between a privilege and a benefit. A benefit would be this crazy airport. These airports aren't owned by the government. These are privately owned. These airports have shareholders. Look into these guys. So, you know, they make their shareholders happy, and then they want to come back and be asking for bailout from the public after they've been charging us for their services. It makes no sense to me. Like, why are we giving them public money when the public's already been paying them for their service? Because they're private, aren't they? Then they should be able to go sort out their own issue. We shouldn't be giving them no money. Even the Queen received a bailout in 2020. Now, for me, it's ridiculous. The value of the crown's estate. Now, we need to understand the difference between the crown and the queen. You see, the crown is the corporation. The queen is just like the CEO. You understand what I'm saying? That's all. The crown estate's portfolio has fallen over 500 million since the pandemic crisis hit. 500 million. I mean, there are households out there that even they themselves know can barely even afford to eat right now. But the priority is to give, the crown a bailout, all because their portfolio fell by 500 million. It makes no sense. And these are the sort of immoral, unethical behavior that the government get into. And for some reason, nobody seems to think, "Oh, that don't make sense." It just does not make sense. I don't think the queen or the crown or the airport or anything should be a priority. Who's gonna fly when they're hungry? What, you wanna fly across the ocean just to go get food? Nah. People need the basic amenities first. The system needs to change. Things needs to change. Moving on, guys. Let's have a look at the crypto market. As we can see, we're pedaling below $2 trillion. Of course, the market is dropped. And we know what's going on. And, if you've heard that saying, buy the dip, buy the dip. Yes, buy the damn dip. Because I guarantee you, everything we've been talking about with the digital yuan, Swift, the whole entire ISO 2002 ecosystem going through a semi-major test, cross-border test in this year, it's gonna bring this market up. They're not printing money for no reason. They're gonna facilitate that test through private companies. Yes, they will do that. We've shown that already. We know what's going on. So pack your bags well. But all I'm gonna say is, you see this last bull run we're going into, man, once we hit the top, get out of the market. Any portion of your portfolio you don't want to keep, you can't afford to lose, to go down, just park your money in a stable coin. I wouldn't use USDT, I'd use USDC. USDC is more recognized by the officials, by the government. You understand what I'm saying? I think USDC, maybe I'll do a breakdown on USDC, but I believe USDC is going to be the one standing. USDT is going. There's a lot of, how can I put it? There's a lot of fraudulent activity going on with Tether. It's part of how the Federal Reserve is pumping the market. They bring the money in through the stable coins, and then they pump the market up, and they drain the market through the stable coins. It's just that simple. As you can see, how can a stable coin be down 0.004%? Ain't it meant to be stable? But it's down. They're draining the market. You observe, you look, and it's just, you apply your critical thinking and you see exactly what they're doing. It's no brainer. Inflation, rising rates, and the Federal Reserve could whip stock around in the week ahead. You see what I'm saying? That new stimulus package they're looking to pass is coming. We know it's coming. It's only a matter of week ahead. Again, it's week ahead. That means it's an open time frame. We don't know when it will be, but we know it's coming. And once they approve it, all the money goes out, the big corporations get their share, it's going in crypto. And once we get that pump, I'm getting out the market. It's just what it is. And whatever asset I can afford to leave in there, I'll leave it to ride. You understand what I'm saying? So let's pay attention. Let me point this one out. After a sharp jump in bond yield to start the year, rising rates could again set the tone for stocks next week. Now, bond yield, this is government bond. You can buy government bond. Government bond, again, it's an IOU. You buy it. There's 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, up to like 34 year bonds that you can buy, and depending on the duration you buy, will depend on the yield you get. So as this yield go up, expect, you understand what I'm saying, inflation to rise along with it, because the bond is an evidence of a debt. It's just that simple. So lastly, we've got art balls. The Australian Open serves up interactive NFTs and a metaverse. This is interesting, guys. I'm gonna try and cop me one, because there's a small amount. I'll try and cop me one if I can. The Australian Open has announced plans to launch a line of interactive NFTs linked to on-court gameplay and the metaverse for fans. The Melbourne-based 117-year-old tennis tournament has announced plans to issue a collection of 6,776 art balls, Gizmodo first reported. Not only will buyers receive a unique image of a colorful tennis ball, but each image will be linked to a tiny plot of land on the tournament court surface. Owners of NFTs linked to the area a winning shot lands on will be bestowed with gifts including Australian Open merchandise, wearables, and video clips, according to a company press release. So guys, again, we know what the agenda is with the gamification, metaverse, NFTs, all of that. They want you inside, and you forget about your reality completely. You go into the metaverse, and everything is fake now. Your money ain't even gonna be real no more. And once the economy collapse and everything goes to shit, you best believe most people will be happy to go in the metaverse to get some sense of normalcy. But I don't even see how that's gonna work. But people will do it, because these people have been dumbing down the world since 1600s. They've been at this for a really, really long time. Just like I said, guys, this is that show where we talk about everything. And we're going to talk about a lot of things as time goes on. You understand what I'm saying? because there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to understand about the world that most people don't know. You know, the way we think the world works is not the way the world works. Everything is planned out to the T. It's just that simple. But anyways, guys, with all that being said, I appreciate the support. I appreciate you all listening in. You know, peace, love, and light to everyone. Remember to share with your friends, family, loved ones, because we all gotta know what's going on. It's just we have to. We have to. That's the only way we're gonna be able to challenge anything these guys are doing. And it's not just, you know, to know what's going on, but we gotta understand how they're doing what they're doing, which is why politics and economics is important. Because in politics and economics, the terminologies they use in these two aspects is commercial in nature. When you go in a courtroom, it's it's an administrative court. Most people go to jail without even realizing they can bond their cases. But hey, this is stories for other days. You understand what I'm saying? I appreciate you all. I'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.